In today's modern world, the usage of the internet has become commonplace. The internet has become one of our basic necessities that indeed cannot be separated from our daily lives. Through the internet, we can experience and access virtually anything, from games, news, and in current times, our work and education. However, the biggest challenge that we would face while surfing the internet continues to be cyber-related security. A healthy cyberspace and consequent internet safety is very important when we consider that certain parts of the internet are still relatively free without strict legal rules. The potential for illegal activity makes the internet a very dangerous and vulnerable space. For starters, in accessing the internet, the safest thing to do is to never share passwords, pins, and other confidential information with anyone that you do not trust. There are many ways that people can misuse any of this classified information, mainly via scamming, hacking, or even holding your personal information at ransom. Internet safety ensures we are more alert when surfing on the internet. By understanding the approach of internet safety, we not only educate ourselves, but are also able to educate other people too. Internet safety is a very important aspect in today's world, especially for the new generation who are still curious in finding out new things online. It is therefore our obligation to properly educate these youngsters.
Access granted.
Warning, your system has been hacked. Please shut down your device immediately.
The world as we know it is digitized more than ever. A lot of information about each and every one of us is now stored in some form digitally. We now have a lot of data concerning each and every one of us that is highly valuable, from our credit card numbers or even the very files we use to work in our jobs. But this means, in this modern age, data is in fact money. And he who steals or controls such data has the potential to become rich beyond measure. Thus, the modern age has given birth to a new type of criminal, hackers. Today, we will be discussing a few prolific hackers, their modus operandi, and the peculiar ways in which the authorities managed to get a hold of them. For the first case, we are moving to Florida, USA. The Jonathan James case involved various different institutions being attacked, from private firms, schools, and even NASA and the Department of Defense. You might think to yourself, this certain person must really be brave and foolish to even think of hacking an American government agency. The biggest twist is that Jonathan James was only 15 years old when he was arrested, and 16 when he was judged and then sentenced. The young genius had managed to swindle $1.7 million from NASA, intercepted over 3,000 emails while even taking a program from the International Space Station that controlled the climate. James had his house searched on January 2000 as the authorities had enough evidence as well as confession. He was found to indeed be the mastermind behind all of these acts. He was then sentenced in September 2000 for 2 counts of juvenile delinquency. Luckily, he was still a minor, and by law he cannot be jailed. Instead, he received 6 months of house arrest, was given probation until he turned 18, and banned from using computers. He would have instead been looking at more than 10 years of jail time should he have been an adult. Perhaps he would have a brighter future using his talents in a correct manner, except he committed suicide at 24 due to the pressure of being alleged to having been connected to another case, the TJX hackers.
For the second case, we're moving back to Sleman, Yogyakarta.
How much are you willing to flex when it comes to wealth? A nice Rolex perhaps? The latest iPhone? Or maybe a new pair of Jordans even? Well, for the Slaman hacker, he thought it would be a wise idea to purchase a Harley-Davidson motorcycle and put it out for display in his shanty town neighborhood. The 21-year-old man was known amongst his community to be a recluse, staying inside just to use his computer. One day, the fancy motorcycle showed up at the front of his house, and several of his neighbors were suspicious. One police report later, and his house was searched. The Slaman hacker was found to be a hacker responsible for blackmailing and hacked into a company database, except that this company was all the way in Texas. His amassed fortune has reached 31.5 million rupiah from the hacking, only to be taken down because he decided to be a little bit less humble. Well, crime does pay, but perhaps not in ways that should be too obvious to certain public eyes. If we see through these two cases above, there are several Indonesian laws that can be applied to those cases. In the Jonathan James case, if we analyze it with the Indonesian laws and regulations, it is governed under the Criminal Procedural Law or KUHAP and on Law Number 11 of 2008 on Electronic Information and Transactions, or widely known as the ITE law. If this brilliant hacking case were to happen in Indonesia, Jonathan James would have violated ITE law, specifically Article 30 of the law, as a result of him being caught hacking. As the investigation goes, the investigators conducted a house search and found 5 computers, a cache of burned CDs, and a Klingon language dictionary, which the investigators found in his room. The evidence gathered show a principle of chain of evidence, where each evidence supports one another, and it forms an interconnected story that results in the crime. As the Article 30 of the ITE law has stated, Jonathan James would have been punished with imprisonment of up to 12 years or a maximum fine of an astonishing 12 billion rupiah. Slaman hacker case is a case which happened within Indonesian jurisdiction. The hacker is facing a sentence of up to 10 years based on the applicable laws which he has violated. These laws are those within the ITE law, where he is to get a maximum of 10 years in prison for hacking. The hacker also distributed information with contents of threats, and lastly, he unlawfully altered electronic information from the public people. Evidence secured in this case included a portable laptop, 2 cell phones, personal identity, a BNI ATM card, an assembly unit for a CPU, and a motorcycle. Based on the evidence gathered and investigation, police found out that the hacking was done with a type of malware called ransomware bought from dark web. The main principle assumed here is the chain of evidence principle, established through the various items secured as well as the information regarding how he had accessed the servers, which is the malware that he used.
The internet is an astounding place full of numerous beneficial experiences. However, with all the benefits that the internet can offer for us, this dark side to it should be considered as well. Cybercrime is real, and it poses a dangerous threat. These two cases are just a small fraction of the many hacking cases that arise each day due to a lack of internet safety. When using the internet, do remember that danger lurks in every corner. Even a seemingly safe program could result in your whole computer being taken over by someone in another country upon being downloaded. Remember to always be aware of these risks when using the internet, as the first thing to remember when using the web is in fact internet safety.